Welcome to Season 5 of Pants Around Ankles Prevention, where my mission is to help you keep your pants securely buckled and avoid that unexpected, awkward, and embarrassing moment when you realize suddenly that they're not. This season, we're going to do things a little differently with shorts around ankles prevention. Quick, power-packed episodes designed to deliver a punch of truth to help you wake up to a new perspective. Let's see what today's short has in store. The title of this episode is When You Wish Upon a Star. Perhaps an interesting point of trivia for you is that the only insect to have ever had a top 40 hit was Jiminy Cricket back in the 1940s with the song When You Wish Upon a Star from the Disney movie Pinocchio. The song has always resonated very strongly with me, and somewhere along the lines I have even acquired a Jiminy Cricket stuffed animal that has resided in our living room for more than 25 years. I think the reason the song has always been one of my favorites is that it's about dreaming. We can only live in the present, but most of us spend too much time focused on the future or the past. And in my case, my balance has always erred on the side of the future. And a part of that for me has always included dreaming. For me, dreaming is about what if. It's about ignoring practicality, the status quo, and instead envisioning a better version of Greg, of my surroundings, and of my life. I really don't know which comes first, the dreaming and then seeing the future, or looking to or for a future and then dreaming it. And at this point, I really don't care. I'm not so naive either as to think that there's one single thing that I can point to that's transformed my life. But I know dreaming is a necessary piece of my transformational pie. It is for you too. When it's time for me to make some sort of change in my life, dreaming comes to the forefront of the process. Now, I'm writing about this right now. I'm authoring this right now because I have a good friend right now who is hurting. And when we've talked and I've mentioned the value of dreaming, she indicated that she really doesn't have time to dream. And we've all been there. I sure have. But I think she is both typical and atypical in this. She is atypical because she does recognize the value and importance of dreaming, and most people don't. She's typical because she is not engaging in it. I also think my friend is literally blocked right now when it comes to dreaming. To be able to dream, you have to make space for it in both your inner and outer world and have an intent to allow it to unfold. If your world is in constant chaos, healthy dreaming can be difficult, if not impossible. And that's where my friend is right now. And I think some types of dreaming, those that are escapist, are not the kinds of dreams I'm talking about. I'm talking about dreams that will move you forward towards something, not to help you escape from something unpleasant. At least for me, dreaming is much more of a process than a single one-time event. It's sending an intent out to the universe repeatedly and allowing the universe time to organize and present a solution. As I've written before, many times when I do an annual review of my personal journal writings, I'll see something, a single sentence or thought that maybe appears someplace in February, then again in May, and then in September or whatever. And in the context of those individual entries, it doesn't really point to anything significant. But in the context of a review, the recurring idea takes on a special significance. Other times, as I'm typing a new daily entry, words will just appear and totally surprise me. And their importance can immediately be obvious. I don't think journal writing is the only way for a process like this to unfold. So I'm not intending to imply that it is. Whether it's journal writing, creating a painting or a sculpture, writing or playing music, or doing anything else that stimulates your right brain function, such as taking a walk or jogging or doing some yoga or meditating or praying, any or all of these things can provide the dreaming process with the vehicle through which it can work. Let's be clear, when dreaming, eyes open, we don't want to be practical. When you go to the ocean, you can take a thimble, a pail, or a 5-gallon bucket, and the ocean will fill any of them for you. It doesn't matter. For virtually everyone, the result of this process is not some incremental, lineal improvement. That would be a thimble of water. It's more often a giant leap, a large bucket. 10xing has become a notable topic in the last few years. Unfortunately, the idea is usually presented in the context of 10xing a business or your income. Nonlinear leaps in who we are as people do not lend themselves to easy measurement or KPIs. But as those of us who have experienced such growth can attest, they can be just as rejuvenating, life-affirming, and expansive as any more easily quantifiable growth. When you're in chaos, like my friend is, creating space for something like this is often difficult. I think the overlooked key, though, is that the space must be created in both our inner and outer worlds. Too many people, when they're overwhelmed, try to find space by, say, taking a walk. And that can help because our inner and outer worlds are connected. But too often when we're on the walk, we're in turmoil on the inside. The turmoil continues. And there's no easy solution when this happens. There are two solutions that come to mind. One is to simply wait. This too shall pass. This is not always a passive process, though. The other is to demand help. To paraphrase a quote I've heard many times before, when the baby cries, the mother comes. The mother can't not come. So this second approach is decidedly proactive, and yelling works better than whimpering. But when you wish upon a star, your dreams do come true. If you'd like a deeper dive into this topic, consider subscribing to our newsletter, Waking Up, where we will explore it in even more detail. And if you found this episode helpful, be sure to subscribe to the podcast so you never miss an episode. See you soon.